Hey guys, it's starting coming at you with another game of hardcore Diablo 2. We're here in Nightmare. We're playing Skelemancer. Life is beautiful. It's like being young again, only without all the bad parts, to be able to play Diablo 2. You hear, of people that reconnect, they haven't seen each other for 30 years, then they see each other and they're like, oh my goodness, I guess I love you, why don't we get married? And depending on your affect, it's like, oh, that's really romantic, or oh, that's kind of wild. But whenever I sit down and play Diablo 2, I get it. I'm like, well, I guess if it was a person as good as Diablo 2, then immediately falling in love again would make sense. But we're going to get this party started. We've got our guys rolling. And we have a crushing blow weapon on the Merc, but I think actually, because it's a lot weaker than our old one, but I'm just trying to give it a little bit of a shot. I don't really need these mages to go to Countess, but we got them anyway. But we, because Countess is the most reliable place to get runes, and you can get them anywhere, but she's gonna drop something. And right now, we need, just something. I think I'm gonna make a pledge. No, I don't want to use my only RAL for it, because if we get something else, then, But I don't have... Yeah. I don't have a 4-socket pole arm. Wish that was. That would be cool. And I don't have a 4-socket sword, so I have a bunch of bases for things that aren't that desirable. I mean, we do have a rhyme base, though, so there's that. But the thing that we're desiring most out of this, I mean, any high room would be sweeter. Medium high, not... She can't drop high runes here, as such. But we just want to Shael to get a shield upgrade. Because alternately, we can make, Ancient's Pledge, but I would really like to get Cannot Be Frozen before we go too much further on. Plus, a bone shield's very stylish. I'm so proud of my skeletons. They're doing their best. I really wish you could set it to remember what you want to be in the potion slot. Nice dream, right? Hey, I should be happy I have what I do. Right. Hi-y'all. Couple explosions later, we just run right through. They've got Quilbies here, but they don't really project ranged power in the terrifying way that later archers and stuff do. Got a small charm, I am gonna ID it right here. It's in general a very bad practice to do what I'm doing here, but I felt safe. I wouldn't do it if I didn't, if it was an unscouted area, right? Not just, if there were enemies around, which you can tell kind of quick, but just, what enemies could be there. If we get jumped by some Yetis and Carvers, we're not going to get popped in 2 seconds. It might take 4. 4 is plenty of seconds. You don't need 4 seconds to do anything, right? Archers through the door, pretty annoying. But it'll be alright. The archers at least won't stand in the doorway. Is the Yeti blocking the door? Okay, Malefortuna. No, the fallen revived shaman is. Anyway, we couldn't get in through the barrels, but now things are better. That is a pretty annoying doorway. But, you know, it's not like they are inviting visitors. And then we'll go left, and it'll be over there. You'll see. Aha, it was. And this is just another one of those examples where, although I could maybe write down, like, my general ideas about the Countess thing, but it's just like, you just gotta believe that you are capable of finding the right route the first time, and then it just starts happening. That's, you know, that's what it comes down to. Because, you know, the crushing blow, I just hope it'll be good enough, right? His resists are solid. Having 63 fire resist this early into Nightmare for your Merc is good. They get some free resist every level, so it's not like you've got to invest that many points into it. I think this... Nope. Here we go. But the general advice I would say is that you don't expect it to be adjacent to you. So like right there, we spawn in. Hey, Kiara, we spawn in on the map at this lower pink one, right? And we immediately see that room underneath us. That's an adjacent room, which means that any spur that goes in that direction is probably going to lead to that room, or a small room otherwise. And that also means that it's not going to lead to the way down, because it usually is not going to be right next to your thing. And that's just one of the analytical tools that you can use to try to find your way to the Countess while you do your hundreds and hundreds of Countess runs. No, we're just going to do a few. Maybe she'll drop what I want right now, and we won't have to come back. Man, that arrow hit for like 100. Pretty rough. But that is what... that's what the shield is for. And we got more here. Let's get some of these archers of our own, right? Haha, necromancy. Never should have come here. And the big one's still in here, yeah. Cold enchanted, so we want to stay away from the Nova. Actually, our revives are doing solid work here. But just, you generally expect it to be kind of as far in a straight line away, it being the entrance to the next area, as about as far in a straight line away from where you're at when you enter as you think it can be. And the way you evaluate that is just, you know, feeling. If there's a super scientific way to know, I don't know it. But having done thousands of Countess runs, I can tell you that, like, you can get a feel for it. And you can definitely kind of get it right. Grand Charm of Anthrax. You know, if it was small... Anthrax is a good mod. Lots of poison damage. Poison damage, in my opinion, isn't great. But there are builds that can make it work. But typically you need lots and lots of it, you know, to, you know, make it go. There's a Poison Necromancer, which I have built before, and at the end I thought it wasn't any good. The thing about poison builds is there's an incredibly large number of poison immune mobs in the game. We're going to back out right here just to try to pull some of them out of the doorway at us. Yeah, there we go. I didn't want to find that firewall, and it looks like the firewall dissipated, so good there too. She's might enchanted this time, which is pretty nasty, but ultimately not that big of a problem, right? And we're just going to run in at her because I am very brave as well as stupid. And then we're going to port in to avoid the door. You always got to port in to avoid the door. Hey, we get an Orch rune. Not bad. Not what we were looking for, but not bad. And then I think we'll just continue on with Act 1 a bit, and then maybe when we get to, like, Cloister 2, by which I mean Inner Cloister, the second Cloister, then we will maybe come back and do another one. Why am I trying to run out like an animal? Gold from monsters, charm sneaking in. Charcy, like, basically never... That's the thing about going further in the game. They're not going to have basic weapons and armor with sockets in them anymore. Not usually. This is nice if you want to be able to buy a cool thing, but hey, excellent. This looks like a little sash, but it's a demon hide sash, so it's exceptional. So it gets the slots, so we get 25 life out of there, which feels very good indeed. And see here, this is an Artisan's Kite Shield. This is a mistake you can make. Artisan is a mod that adds sockets. A modification, that is to say, that adds sockets. We just call them mods in the parlance of this game. So that's okay if you just want to put something in a shield, but a rune word has to be placed in a non-magical item, so you can't use an Artisan's one. You can use like a Superior Breastplate here. This is actually a really good thing here, because you get enhanced defense, and then the multipliers can work off of that, so those are desirable. It doesn't matter truly in hardcore, in my opinion. It doesn't matter truly in basically any setting if your base has a superior mod on it. Ethereal matters much more for Merc, just tremendously more. But it is... look, when you play a lot of Diablo, what you seek is perfection, right? Because anybody can have such and such an item, you know. Anyone that plays a lot can make, you know, a lot of things. But a truly perfect spirit, say, where every single modifier is as high as it can be with, you know, 112 or whatever magic, and the 14 magic absorb, and the 35 fast cast, and so on. If you can get that, that represents hundreds and hundreds of rune word attempts. You know, if you can get your Enigma in a perfect base, then that represents a very swag Enigma. My Enigma is just a normal mage plate Enigma. I didn't splurge for it. 4? 1. Sure would have liked to see 4. Because although every caster in the game has a better time with mana and no bodies than we do, once they're bodies and you have functionally limitless mana, you're functionally going to have a good time. Now, this area actually, in spite of having doors, isn't so bad. They have a large number of these line of sight blockers, which helps you and not really them so much. They don't have a lot of spells that are going, or truly any, that are going to cause you big problems there. So here, you know, you've got the archers, which are nasty, but you can just stand like right here, and the barrel is going to make it so they can't hit you. Because these are not kickable barrels. You know, there's two kinds of barrels in the world. Ones you kick and ones you don't. These are the ones you don't kick. They made a ruling on it. Fire enchant extra strong. We're going to slow him down then. sometimes amp damage is fine, but if you slow them down, then they're not going to be able to get your guys, right? And that is a value all its own. Where are you at, Smithy? Where are you at, Smitho? I don't think this is the right way. Bounce there. We're gonna go. I'm almost certain it doesn't go this way, but we might as well walk into the room, right? Bone wand could be good. Isn't. So, like, right here, in spite of the door, so it's a little annoying for movement, but we can be quite confidently safe. You know, like, when we're here, we know there's nothing in this map because of where we've already gone that can mess with us. And then it's just a matter of turning up the juice. Oh, no. I'm stuck. All right. We got stuck there. That's real bad. That can happen. But just have a portal, right? Could have been bad. Only went down to, like, 80% HP. So nowhere near, like, an issue. But could have been bad. They're Champ Devilkin in here. All right, that means, or Champ Shamans. We're going to bounce in so all the guys get inside, and now we'll be able to handle them. The town portal to reposition the troops is very, very important in the realm of Skelemancing. And you always want to kill champs. They drop potions, which is fine, but they also have a very good chance to drop, higher tier. This guy is lightning enchanted. We'll give him some space. Now, we have very high lightning resist, of course, but we'll give him some space. Because that's the thing. You never, just because you know that you're kind of resistant, you don't want to stand there and tank it anyway. Like, let's be serious. Some people do. Some people are made for the barbarian life. And maybe one day I will be one too. It could be fun. Hear the lamentations of the Death Clan and all that. Get our revive game on. Maybe I could have brought it in to sell it, but it's just taking up space. No. Gold is good. Gold, I mean, like, right now, I could spend all of my gold gambling for better items at Geed, and I would probably get something that was better. And, like, rings and ammies are very expensive to gamble on in the game, no matter your level, because, well, early game rings can be quite desirable. I mean, you can gamble a Soj, theoretically. Although, anytime someone's told me they did it, I kind of did not believe them. Night bang the dark. Hiya! Alright, we want to get the hammer, though. Whole other side. Because really what I want most is to push to Act 2 so we can get the Merc of our dreams. The Holy Freeze Merc. Wait. Oh, it was up there. That's annoying. Did not even see the door on that upper wall. Alas. Oh, right, cold enchanted. Well, you know, we do have good cold resist-ish, and that was a weak pop on it. I mean, 16 is fine, but anyway, careless. Stop standing close to Nova's, self. All this for a hammer. Really, we would just be looking for something very interesting for the Merc there, because... Yep, well... She gave me... Yeah, she can... make something rare. Lots of times you sort of say this, but I think, yeah, we'll... If we can get just like a pair of boots... We'll try to find a normal pair of boots, because these boots are very old. They are level 9 boots. They do have 18 light resist on them, but let's go gamble some boots right quick. See if we can. Not light-plated boots. Ideally, less expensive than that. Although they are very stylish. Yeah, like some regular boots. You know, the light resist is better lots of the times, but these are also better some of the time. You know, we might just keep the lightning resist boots for a time when we think we need it, because, hey, we got some boots with run walk and decent resist. That takes us to 29 light but 45 cold. I mean, there's not a lot of lightning that we have to worry about, so I think it's fine. And we totally don't have the space for all this. But that's okay. You know, we're just going to keep on rolling. The thing about your inventory is, you know, it's all theoretical, right? You only need inventory space if you're, like, really magic finding, or if there are other people in the room who are going to take the stuff on the ground before you can get it. It's very rare when it's like, oh, I have to grab that and leave right now. I mean, you can usually always come back. You can always just come back. And I don't want to leave a bunch of potions on the ground and then, you know, need them slightly later, since we are a potion-hungry build for sure. Champs. Shouldn't be any Dark One Shamans on this level, I don't think. So at least there's that. Champions tend to have some different tint to them, so like, you know, they'll be bluish or greenish or reddish, you know, you can visually differentiate them. Also, they don't stand in appropriately large groups. Hey, Neo, good morning. It is a morning to be good on. Running in here like that wasn't, like, ideal, but I knew they were going to teleport to me, and I don't, like, really fear the mob set in this place. Not yet, anyway. It's possible they got some archers that I haven't noticed. Nope. Casters, easy. Well, at least we got the waypoint. The least useful waypoint in the game. No, that's not fair. There's a lot of non-useful waypoints, and they're all equally not useful. dire poison or dire poisson. It's not what that means. But anyway, he's going down. He is lightning, but he will go down. You just want to, even with some lightning resist, we lost a bunch. And, going from 40 to 29, big hit. It's more influential than 11%. It's much more than that. Because, statistics can be deceiving. Something like this does this doesn't mean that's the overall effect, right? That just means that's what the start of the effect is. Cold damage charm, actually, I'm just going to put it in the stash real quick so I don't forget and sell it later, but not good for me. Not compared to that one. We're just going to keep on throwing all the trash we get in here. So if we ever die... But that's like the joy of hardcore, right? Is you still get to acquire stuff. It's just anything you take out with you, you could lose, including the entire character. But a character really is just the stuff it has, right? And that's a pack also. Cold Enchanted, it looks like. We're going to port in here because otherwise we're never going to get in. And Cursed, Cold Enchanted, Cursed. Nasty. Well, it takes his hit recovery, but gives him big life numbers relatively. 40. It'd be a lot for me. It's not a lot for him. And I'm not wearing it because I got that. I'll keep the hit recovery on him, I guess. Hit recovery is good. We're going to assume that Poleaxe couldn't possibly be better than what I have, but that's not true. It could definitely have like some nasty mods on it that made it good, although you would expect a magic weapon to be better than a rare one, typically. 2 to 65 lightning damage. How interesting. A lot of random junk on there, but no. Crushing Blow is better against big bosses, and more damage is better against ones that aren't. So, we either keep on with the Crushing Blow or, get our better one again. Champ Death Clan, all of our guys are taking their sweet time getting up here. Okay. Beginning to think they don't like doing this for a living. Sad. But, I guess between the Necromancer and the Skeletons, it's the Necromancer that has the most fun. nasty. Decrypt the archers, run through to get to the exit right here. Nope, looks like we misjudged. I mean, it's not unsafe that we're doing this. It's just, I really thought it would be like right here. Nope. They gave me the old bamboozle. The old bamboozle. I need to drink some coffee, so we're going to town. That is a good example of a place that is much too dangerous. I just wish that having the music on 100 felt like the music was on 100. Like, sound effect 1, music 100, and the sounds are still louder than the music is. Anyway, literally unplayable. And the thing, like, and the problem is the very serious problem in Diablo. Oh, I need keys. I'm very superstitious about locked chests. I believe you should unlock them. The problem is that you very much have to have sound on, because otherwise you can't hear stuff drop, and you'll just walk by it, right? I can hear the chick of a rune, or the ding of a ring, or a diamond, or the hearty little zing of a jewel dropping, and all of that means turn around. Every now and then you get a little bit colder and you never come around, but you know, turn around and then you can find a rune, but without the sound. Black Widow, Sharp Widow the Slasher, not Black Widow at all. Stone Skin and multi-shot. So this is a very, very nasty archer pack. That's a pack that'll end your whole career. I'm not perceiving much issue with the act bosses from here on. Diablo might still be a little annoying, and of course Bale will probably pop our guys a couple of times. Mephi shouldn't be too annoying. Shouldn't. 4-socket composite bow. I totally want to keep that. You could get like an Amazon and put like, yeah, you know, stuff in it. Here's my gym to bow, because you could wear that on like probably level 2 or 3. Although the quality of gems that you would put in depends. But we'll just hold on to it. Look, I believe in saving bases for theoretical rune words and theoretical characters that may never materialize until you run out of space. And look, with that many stash tabs, look, this is a way that I could never play back in the day because it would have been way too annoying to hold on to everything. But we make it to Cloister. We're going to go ahead and exit the game. I mean, not the game. Exit that game. We're going to see if there's a good place for terror here. Like, maybe we could get, like, a terror Countess. Or Outer Steps and Plains of Despair. Don't care. So we're just going to go and run the Countess again. Because I would really, really like a Shael. Now we've got skeletons of our own, and these revived skeletons. Who are like ours, only worse, because they go away. They don't love us. Very sad. Do we cross the bridge to find the tower? It could be Tomo Highland, and that would be exclusionary. With the torches there, I think it is, actually. Yeah. One torch, fine. Dual torch, probably new zone. Oh, I forgot to buy keys. That is an ugly, ugly room to come into, so we're leaving. Like, I can tell you right now you don't want to stay in there. This room's fine. That first one, though, nuh-uh-uh. So the reason for that, there were, I think, champ archers as well as other archers. It's just a very, very large amount of potential damage without any amount of potential upside. We were surrounded. There's no way to know how much was in there, but if we just left, we knew we'd be fine. Because right now, these archer shots do, I think, like 25-ish, 30 damage, it looks like. Huh. Weird. Oh, is it going to be adjacent? That is bonkers. That is so not what I expect. No, I don't believe it. It'll be this way. Because the other one's close adjacent, and this at least is far. If it goes down far enough, it could be, like, max distance. I mean, yeah, okay. Now if it goes down the curve of this hallway, past that room with this sort of obscure door, then I sort of see it. Nope. Directly adjacent, that is crazy. I would never, ever expect it. I mean, you can see it. You clearly do right here. It just goes to show that no amount of superstition can defeat the random generation. But if I got it first try, I would have went through believing I was good at it, right? Like a child who doesn't understand that their parents don't control the streetlights, but can see when they're going to happen. Yeah, it was Champ, Blood Clan, and Archers, and that's bad. That's such... that's funny. And here... probably not. Nope. Alright, I retracted. I don't know how to find my way to Countess. I'm an amateur. I have done it thousands of times, though. Look, 60% of the time it works every time. There we go. That is even further than the other route, so that's good. that's potentially weird. No, we alright. Ghosts are nasty little guys, but, you know, typically it just depends. Mainly it's that they, most classes can't stand to see the ghosts because they are generally physical immune in hell, which is a massive problem for everybody. If this had sockets... Because the thing about making insight for your merc is you can put it in something crummy, but it's a lot better of a life if you put it in something good. I mean, I'll just make a better one. The first 4-socket polearm we get, we're making an insight with, right? But I would prefer it be good. Because insight is so good that it's basically better than a good weapon, even if it's in the worst base. Tower 5, we got Might Enchanted here, which is real nasty on an archer. Extra fast Aura Enchanted Ghosts, looks like it. Yep. Cold Enchant, we need to get away for when he pops. What I did there is not super smart, but it's not incredibly careless either. With this many summons, we figure that at best 2 or 3 of them will get stuck on us, and if we could run in past the firewall, then we'd be alright to just engage, and that's what happened. Countess is Fire and Light Enchanted here. She's having a real time, but, you know, it won't take too long before the focus goes onto her and she falls, giving us another Tal Rune. Well, you know, they can't all be what y'all want. I want a Shael. I mean, Shael would be a nice drop from her. You don't expect to see something in that bracket, because, like, I don't remember exactly how high it can go, but I think she can drop, like, an rune at the highest, I think. But maybe that's, like, hell? Which is right here, is the, Um's a nice rune. It gives, like, resist all. Right? I think so. But it's valuable. It's in a lot of really good boards. Well, it's good that we're getting these runes. But we don't, like, really need them as such the way that they are. We got another 3% lightning resist charm. I'm going to carry it around, you know. Yeah, let's just carry on from the cloister then. You know, if you run a Countess and then do some more of the game, it doesn't feel as repetitive as running a bunch of Countesses. Not like... I should not represent feeling repetitive as a negative to a Diablo player. Hey, Minikman, how are you? Good morning. In fact, repetition is the heart of the joy in Diablo, but it's still nice to mix up what you're doing. And a superior breastplate. So, while abstractly you might think, oh, couldn't that be good for a merc? No, because the breastplate defense is so low compared to what you would want to put in something like that for a merc. But an F superior thing that's got the sockets you want, if it's desirable for a merc, is... It can be very valuable indeed. Not like that's the point of this character. I don't think we'll be selling anything to anyone. Or trading at all. It's a self-found world. Alright, we are having a terrible time moving forward in here. But this is like... This is a hilariously nightmarish situation. Not like dangerous, it just sucks, right? There's so many fallen, there are so many fallen shamans, and everything is incredibly spread out. But I think we're going to port here and pop back in. Well, we'll heal real quick, but because one skeleton isn't that good, a whole bunch of skeletons on a target is good. 12 skeletons around the room hitting one thing each doesn't do anything at all, and then of course they just get resurrected by the shaman again. But now that I identified there's so many shaman, we can, work on that. There must have been, there must have been like 8 shaman in the room. You only get experience for the first time you kill the mob. So there's no point. That is so many shaman, jeez Louise. Like, are they around here doing it too? That can happen. They'll be like outside a line of sight, making you miserable. Just an absolutely bonkers time clearing this room. Totally ridiculous. Yeah, but the cathedral is like one of the very silly places in Act 1, right? Because this is a very typical experience here. And for a different character, right, like, this is quite dangerous. You have a huge amount of fallen getting resurrected. Like, how do you corral them? Oh, well, why did I walk into that? Alright, do we give him... Well, yeah, I feel like going and getting the cold and the lightning resist at the cost of a little bit of fire resist is fine here for him. So you don't need that resist at all against Andy. It's all poison all the time there, but... We'll just be trying to, do the old maiden play. This run's going real well. I would say there are only like 2 very close shaves and like 100 times where I could have died. But only a couple where, like, quick thinking was absolutely... Ooh, now that is interesting. Because we can make, like, him a stealth in that. The run, walk, and the... But I think, actually, we'll just hold on to it. Because that is a kind of nice base for a merc. We get, I don't know. I'm like, no, wealth is so much higher. 'Cause that's the thing is, even though it's good, a merc, the strength requirements of items aren't as important. So by the time we could use something good enough to put into a 2-socket armor, we would probably want an armor that was twice that good. Because the merc actually gets very big multipliers from that stuff. From defense and attack. We've got Champ Ratman, but the big guys on him. Fuzzle's getting the stab on. Get your stab on. And that'll... Ooh, Devil Eye. Cursed and magic resistant. Cursed is a very sketchy mod, because abstractly it doesn't do anything. All it does is make sure you take double damage if you ever take damage again until it's gone. Which usually is a long time. It's almost always worth going to town and removing the curse. Not just because it's dangerous, but because even if you don't die, it's super annoying to your skellies, who almost certainly will be crumbling in large numbers. Ratman. Oh. These are the guys from Act 3, but you see a few of them here before they go down. Ooh, a bill? Yes! Yeah, baby! Oh wait, I don't have a soul. I used it on the lore. Ah, well. Well, insight when we can, anyway. But still, that's not the absolute ideal weapon to put it into. His strength can cover it, even though he gets a lot from his weapon, so we shouldn't discount that. It's just 20, so his strength can cover it. It's a very high strength requirement. Like, I don't think you could give it to a merc as soon as, but that's the thing, is when we die, he'll die with that sword in his hands, right? So it's okay. But we might find a better base before we get a soul rune. Although, this is the sort of thing that makes you want to run Countess a lot, right? When you just need a rune to be able to put together something good. But awesome. Very nice to find... Not a great base, but a base. I mean, like, what if we get an ethereal one before? That would be great. There have been times where I thought about wearing insight myself and then, like, giving something else to the merc, but I always end up saying, that's not wise. All our guys are stuck at the door, so we're just going to do a quick reposition here. Still got 12 scrolls. That's plenty. Now I am the Necromancer of Spiders. They are probably actually a terrible revive to have here, because they probably definitely are going to block doors so much. I'll get over it. I'll get over anything for my goodest giant spider boys. Wait. I'm like, that's Kata, but we need the waypoint. It is entirely feasible that we'll run some Nightmare and Duriel for stuff, but we'll probably just push through because Necro is so good at just pushing through, right? The act bosses are, you know, little speed bumps, but if you can get through them, then the whole next big old portion of an act is usually an oyster that you can claim. Looks like Cata 2 waypoint was over here. Probably directly to the side of it. That's pretty funny. There's not too much more space in this place for it, but there we go. We start a little riot there in the front. Oh, minions, let's back up. I haven't checked mods, and I can't really. Stone skin, magic resist, Pewcock. Well, we'll put that name to the test. Man, if you could teleport too, like you could just hit that room to that room, and then it's a very short route to there, but otherwise this is such a long run from the waypoint there. I mean, it's fine here because you've cleared it already, right? And that's the thing about a magic find run. The first time you go to kill a boss, you have to walk there. You know, it's nothing weird to, like, not start at the waypoint, you know. But every other time, if the waypoint's far away, it could, you know, double the amount of effort you spend. Especially on, like, a non-teleporting magic find character, where you just gotta kind of hoof it. But that's why most people's first character is a sorceress. That's not why. It's because a naked sorceress is better at fighting than most entirely geared characters are. And in the hands of an expert, is better most of the time. However, with Warlock, they might actually be even better than that. I love that door. That was not a good door to fight in. A lot of AoE issues there. Skeleton Flashball grows. Indeed, we're gonna start singing songs pretty soon. Huh. 1 to 19 lightning damage on a jewel. It's not good. We'll probably never use it, but we can sell it later. Or not. No, putting a bunch of useless junk in a chest, as you can see, is not unique to me in playing Minecraft. I'm doing it more now because we have more chest space. Back in my day, there was only one tab in the stash, not 6 plus a bunch of other ones, so you wouldn't catch me holding on to all this junk then, but I always wanted to. I always wanted to hold on to all this junk. No, back in the day you just had to make alts to carry it, and it was really annoying, so unquestionably a good change. Like basically every change they've made, in my opinion, they've all been for the better of the game. Teleport, yeah, so these are extra strong. Extra strong goes on to their magic attacks and stuff too, so if fighting them in that doorway would have been real rough. But we can get his minions, who are actually very nice little caster minions. They would do great against Duriel, actually, although we probably won't have them then. She hates fire damage. She's quite weak to it. But, you know, maybe they have poison resist, maybe they don't. Andy has a funny way. She reminds me a lot of Bale, only predictable, where she has some moves that hurt, and then she has some moves that seem to kill absolutely everything in front of her. And I call that one the flamethrower. It's really a poison thrower. And you never know what you're going to get. A rare ring. Yeah, I don't think we take it over either of those, but that is interesting all the same. We're popping over to this side to reposition all of our guys, like always. There's like 3 shaman over here, and they can definitely resurrect. When there's like 3 or 4 fallen shaman, they can absolutely get more guys up before you can kill more. Because that's like the skeleton brain can't focus enough, and they don't really have the attack rating to just cut somebody down to size as quickly as you'd like. So you just gotta make sure that you live your life in a way where you can get the shaman. Like that one had 2 HP. Probably somebody was working on him whenever we failed in our charge. She shouldn't come down here. We really need to fight these guys a little bit further back. That's a lot of dudes. If we fight them at the same time as Andy, she's just going to melt everything. That's not desirable. Alright, so now we're going to get ready for Andy. That just involves drinking a bunch of antidote potions and giving a bunch of antidote potions to our merc. All right. Oh, well. Oh, geez, there's still so many more dudes in here. Okay, we might have to go do that again. These are extra fast aura enchanted guys, and Andy is here now. All right, we need to get right here. Bounce out. We're going to heal real quick to get everything situated. We still have some time on the resist things. This is going to hopefully get us away from whatever that unique was up top that had the aura, and then they will run down in here and we will fight them here. That is the plan. That guy has multi-shot. Alright, so what we're seeing here is an absolute failure of planning. We are in real trouble. But if she won't come in here, it will be okay. She's in here. We're still fine-ish. There are a lot of bodies here still. Alright, there we go. And you see, like, if you remember how Andy was in the first place, where she was just such a menace, well, now she can't even really kill all of our guys immediately. You know, the poison will do it, but now that we have Decrypify, other tools, you know, she's a lot more manageable of a fight. Normal boss fights tend to look absolutely haggard next to nightmare boss fights for most classes, because in a normal boss fight you are trying to deal with these foes with no tools, right? No tools and no gear. And by the time you get to nightmare, as a player, you're expected to make a judgment about whether or not you need better stuff before you attack the boss, because there's always some way to get slightly better stuff. All of these things are bad. But we get a nice another level. We're at 39. Very good. This is a great victory. Huzzah! Go east, young man. Alright, alright. Now, do we reset and do another Nightmare Countess? Or press on? What we do is get another Merc. Goodbye, Fuzzle. You were a good Merc. The best. But now the time has come for other things. And like we've talked about, there are schools of thought about the correct Merc. But I'm telling you that I believe the correct Merc is Holy Freeze. And the only one who's got it is Asab. So, Asab, you're now our best friend. Because Might... Look, Might at level 5 gives all your guys 80% more damage. And that sounds like it's awesome. But Holy Freeze slows down enemies. And it can do it a lot. When you put Holy Freeze on and Decrypify and a Clay Golem, all of a sudden, they're not very scary anymore. These sewers are very dangerous as an area in the game. They're not great for summoners in general because of the propensity of doorways. But really, it's these Burning Dead archers that are menaces. However, we have -6 fire resist, which is probably better than I normally am at this point. I need to bite the bullet and put like Ancient's Pledge in a shield or something. But the thing is I don't have another Row rune, and if I do that and I don't have a Row rune to make like an Insight, then I will be kicking myself forever. Even more than I would do it if I, like, you know, died from not having resistances. Oh, he's possessed. Possessed ones can't be cursed. Just really annoying. If you ask me, a possessed demon or undead is exactly who needs to be cursed. Like, I do not know what everybody is doing. There we go. Get on him, Emilio. And it will make bodies blow up, but it's just... To me, we do not desire offensive power for... Like, what we're trying to do is get through this game, right? And I think Holy Freeze is going to be what does it. Some people like Might. Some people swear by it. And in softcore, that might be what I did. But... But the real issues for a summoner are, you know, ancients and boss fights. Clear will take care of itself. Get a kill or two and watch everything work out. So that's why I go with Holy Freeze. And then, you know, hardcore, Holy Freeze provides survivability in a way that none of the other auras do. Defense might as well not even be a stat. I mean, if you have a lot of it, it's good. But from the mercenary standpoint, like, he's not helping you live longer by giving you defense. You ought not be getting struck, right? What kills you is not going to be a dude hitting you. It's going to be a nova or a lightning bolt or a meteor or forgetting that you walked into a door, you know. And Holy Freeze can help with all of that. Except the magic. Which nothing can help you with. Only resists in gearing properly, you know, so... But that poleaxe is worse than the bill, so we won't be using it. And we don't need another 4-socket normal weapon there. What we want to see is a partisan. It's called a partisan, and it's like a halberd variant, but for exceptional. And that would be very, very good to get for a base. But we also need a soul ring. A soul rune. A soul ring. 1 mana. Tap for 2. Make the whole table groan. Ban soul ring win. Here we just put decrypt on the champs and then run around them to, you know, distract them from shooting at our guys. That's a very good way to deal with archers. Now, of course, you can't do it unless you feel confident running around, but a little bit of run walk usually works out okay. And Decrypify makes it so that you have plenty of time to dodge and dip. And, of course, occasionally dive. Ultimately, only to dodge again. Sewers 2. And this is an area you never want to go back to, but if you were playing with other people, Sewers 2 is a waypoint you want, because Buko's skill. Maybe we'll, like, grab a Viper Skin of the Magi off the ground. Because stealth is real good, but, I mean, I'd hate to lose the run walk would be the only real thing. Run walk is usually only on boots, and getting 25 of it here lets us have, like, you know, bad boots for a while. Getting good boots would be nice, too. Plenty of good boots in the game. Rares tend to be the most desirable ones, though. You can get lots of good mods. You can get run walk, hit recovery, resists, and like magic find all on boots. And, you know, surprise magic find is always good. Everybody loves surprise magic find. That's a lot of dudes. Probably Radaman's room, but not necessarily. Nope. I've got cats too. That's nasty. Like, with the Holy Freeze and the Decrypt on them, look just how slow they attack. They can't do anything. It's the right choice. Whenever people say that Might is better, I'm like, yeah, maybe. If the point is to kill stuff quickly. And some people do think that's the point of Diablo, but that's not the point of hardcore. Hardcore, the point is to live forever. Or as close as you can. Bloodthirst, extra fast, and lightning enchanted. That's a nasty set of mods. Of course, we have good lightning resist. Not great, but we'll just keep him locked down and... Oh, there he is. We're just going to back up a little bit here. Pull them onto these bodies. think. There we go. There's the enchanted guy. There's another one in there. By pulling him back so far, Radamant probably isn't even engaged in resurrecting guys, which is why we wanted to pull back. And Radamant, between Clay Golem and Decrypt, is already incredibly slowed, and he's going to have an even worse time before long, of course, once the crushing blow stabby stab starts up. And there we go. There's our beautiful Book O skill. And the scroll to impress Deckard Cain. You must read this scroll immediately. You have quite a treasure there in that Herodric cube. They say the taste of vengeance is bittersweet, but I find it to my liking. Atma goes hard. Just need a broadsword with 4 sockets. That's all I want. Not a long sword, because I don't have the dex. No more, no less. Wow, those guys are quick! This is an extra fast pack. It has to be. That was really fast. Sandleapers are fast boys anyway, but those were really quick. Yep, spectral hit. Wait, we can't summon his minions up? That's too bad. Maybe it's just a monster. Well, you know. I thought sometimes you could get minions. Maybe not there. A lot of uniques right out here, right? It's like almost everything's been a pack. There's another one right here. It's pretty wild. We're gonna get some buzzards. That'll show them. Yeah, a lot of packs. We don't need to go there. We're not probably going to go there. The thing about Necro is you don't want to go into a zone that plays against your strengths. In the very early game, it's fine. You know, it's good to go places that you don't have to go. It's fun. You know, you see more of the game. You play it more like you would have before you were an expert, right? It's good to do. But you don't want to just go to a place because it's there. You don't want to go to a place that is going to be problematic for your particular build, especially at this point in hardcore. Look, if you die on the first hour of a character, you barely feel it, right? You barely do. But after a while, you know, you start to think, I sure hope I don't die. We're going to get beetles of our own, do charge bolts of our own, and then we won't know which charge bolts are good and bad, which will help us not trying to get hit by any. Like, there's a lot of places in the game that maybe you get something good, sure, and maybe there's good experience, but if there's a lot of doorways, or there are gloams or something, you just probably want to find a different place to go and hang out. But that's why I say that, like, hardcore is a lot of thinking and knowledge stuff, and only some gameplay. As a necromancer, only some gameplay. Lots of gameplay as other classes. But, you know, it's about knowing what you can and cannot do before you're in that situation, because Diablo's a very punishing game, right? It also, you know, allows you to get forgiven unless you're playing hardcore. Because, like, the same game that'll kill you in 1 second will let you use 100 town portals to kill a boss. You know, it's like, it'll let you do either one. Of course, you can't use 100 town portals to kill a boss in hardcore unless you're running away, which is still acceptable. Can't die for it, though. What a weird map. Am I still carrying level 9 stuff, or am I... I think it's slightly better geared than that now. That's so funny. Exit directly to the side. Not that rare, but very funny all the same. That was an aura enchanted. Good. We're just going to get a decrypt in. Drinking the water from the well. Aura enchanted and telly. Well, that's not so bad. Spear cats, my favorite revives. I mean, they aren't, but I like them. Any ranged revives are nice as long as they, like, you know their place and don't walk into doorways and stand there, which is one reason why skeleton mages are terrible. Another is that while they're standing there, they don't do anything. And the third is that I want them to be good and they aren't. And that always makes me sad. And sure, it's my fault, you know, for loving a skill that will never love me back, but... Oh, it was champ leapers and champ cats. That's what was going on. It's like I was surprised, because champs usually spawn in packs of like 3, but there were 6 of them there, leading to, you know, fun. Garbage. Got a unique pack there. Spear cats without spears. They do have nice little Egyptian hats though. Gotta love the little hats. Walking into the Nova again. Again, if you have good resist, it's fine, but you may not always have good resists. Being cursed is bad. We're just going to keep on rolling with it, though, because I don't feel like running back to town, and these aren't, like, really high DPS mobs. They're mainly, like, hyper annoying, right? They run around, they jump around, they caper, they sing. They're very obnoxious, but what they don't do is, like, represent the ability to just kill you. If we were, like, in a place with archers, or, you know, any high physical damage mob, moon lords, the like, that we would definitely want to be more reticent. Fascinating. Fascinating. I feel like you never see this morph of the map, but I guess it's not impossible. So the reason I think this is interesting, so what we get here is an exit, you know, to the west that becomes an immediate eastward turn, and then the whole map is going to go to the opposite side of where the entrance was, I think, which is just pretty interesting, you know. The thing about Act 2 is you don't really look at much of it most of the time. But I like it. I like the overland sections. Anytime you go inside anywhere in Act 2, I sort of like, you know, inhale sharply. Like, is there really going to be an exit over this way? No. Then where? Like, there's no way it would be down there and then through. It won't generate like that. Curiouser and curiouser. So, okay, so it spins left there, and it doesn't continue on. Huh. Guess the spur would have been up here. That's funny. I really thought this was a dead end. But it looks like it won't be. No choice. Halls of the Dead, we don't have to go. We have already got the cube, so you only have to do Halls of the Dead the one time. Hello, Pogotech. This is hardcore ladder, and we're doing a solo self-found thing. So we're playing online, but just by ourselves. But we are currently level 40. Pretty promising. You know, the gear's all right. It could be better. Trying to find a soul rune for an insight for the merc at the moment, and then you know, it's funny you say that. I know everybody hates Act 3. I don't hate Act 3. 3's super rough, but I don't hate Act 3. I mean, probably 4, just because it's boring and samey. Act 1 is my favorite. You know, but I like Act 2 less than Act 3. It just depends on the character, though. I really hate Duriel, and, like, normal Duriel is, in my opinion, like, a very badly designed boss. I feel like there's huge amounts of characters that just, like, have no play at all against him. Not a Necro, you just maiden him down with a Golem, you're good. But, like, everybody else, like, I hate Duriel. I think he stinks. I hate the lair. There's a lot of, like, inside places in Act 2 that I find miserable. And those are in Act 3 as well, but most of those are optional. I quite like the Council. I love Travinsal. We just call it Trav. We'll just call it Trav. This guy is Fizz immune, so we're going to throw... Oh, does the... No, the... He's so physical... Oh, because of Stone Scan and it's a fly thing. Well, we'll just kill him with elemental attacks then, yeah. You can... Amplify damage will remove physical immunity, but it can't do it if their physical immunity is, like, over cap, so... You know, Itchies have very, very high fizz resist in general, and I think they're all physical immune in Hell, if memory serves. But again, by the time I'm in Hell, I just usually, you know, it's all Meteorb or Corpse Explode. How much do you know about the mobs, you know? No, that's not fair. I've played Hammerden also, and Zon. Those are my big three. Skelemancer, Sorceress, Zon, and Paladin. But 3 as a Necromancer is a lot of fun because there's tons of bodies that quickly generate. It's very tense, and that's why I like 3. It's got a lot of, like, hyper-dangerous enemies where you need to react very quickly. You need to, like, be able to evaluate on a blink, like, how bad a room is going to be. And that's the stuff I like about Diablo, is the tension, right? Try to look at that? Yeah. I played the Warlock up to, like, Hell. I got, like, you know, like, halfway through Hell. Not on hardcore. This was just, like, you know, like, when it came out. And had a lot of fun. And then they released the ladder. And, you know, I liked Warlock, and I think it's super strong. And a lot of fun. But Necromancer, like, Skelemancer is my one true love when it comes to this game, you know? Like, that's the character that I think of whenever I think of making a new Diablo character, you know? Am I making a sorceress to get rich, or am I making a necromancer to be happy? Which isn't fair. I love sorceress also. Like, you know, I've made tons of them, and I adore the sorceress. She's great. But necromancer, like, you get skeletons. It's good. But warlock, yeah, I did just a couple of splash points in demonology, and then I did well with my warlock. I kind of put points everywhere just to sort of see how it was, even though we all know that's not how to build a character in Diablo. And then respect over and did like mainly fire. I think fire is a pretty interesting tree there, but of course once you get to hell, fire is not a way to live by yourself. But yeah, and then bound Hephaestus and then Lister, very hysterical. Being able to get like conviction aura on a guy that and then when I went to Nightmare and Lister followed me, I just started laughing a lot, It was very fun. But I think probably, depending on like how you deal with immunities in Hell, because you could just do like Demonology plus pure magic damage, and then I think probably a Warlock would be a pretty cozy way through hardcore. But the new Thunder Sucks. Yeah, I've seen the charms that they exist and stuff. I don't have any yet myself. I have, in Offladder, I've got stuff. I could go and get them. I've got my Magic Find Necro is 91. I've got Enigma. I've got the stuff. I'm loaded. But I just didn't, because I didn't want to play characters I already played. I wanted to play a new character, and to me, playing Self-Found is a really good way to see, like it's like going back. It's like going back to the roots, to play Self-Found. Or like a new ladder, which they didn't release the ladder when the guy came out, which is fine. Please be 2 sockets in a zombie head. Law garbage. Hey! 8 cold resist. Looks like the inventory got 1 slot smaller. Look, with my propensity for standing in the middle of every Nova that ever has been, look, resists are good, okay? Is it great to sacrifice other stats for them? Yes, it is. They are the most important thing standing between you and not you. Hopefully, the Lost City doesn't kick on and take away my light. Because we still have to do the worst area in the game. Is it actually the worst area in the game? It is. And we did walk too far into the Lost City, and now it's dark. I hate everything. Fortunately, we found the worst area in the game and the waypoint. See, I stopped playing ladders a few years ago. Yeah, once upon a time, like, the ladder got rune words and stuff that the other things didn't get, right? Did they ever change that, or does the ladder still have exclusive stuff? I just like the idea of starting new, which is why I like playing on ladder. Although, there's certainly something to be said about like acquiring all of the stuff that you dream of and being able to work that. Because like I have a lot of stuff on my non-ladder characters, and I don't know if you know what D2JSP is, the forum where you can, like, they have their own internal currency with forum gold and stuff. And I have, like, a bunch of that from the last time I played. I've never, like, bought forum gold with real money. I'm a gentleman, right? So my idea of making money in Diablo is to acquire, like, 100 chipped rubies and then trade them on the forum for forum gold, and to get, like, 18 rows, and just trade every small thing ever, and then eventually buy an Enigma, which is what I did. But I'm mainly just playing single player. I have no intention to play with other players in my game here on hardcore. And even whenever I play on ladder, it's usually just by myself. Really, the ladder is just an organizing principle for the gameplay rather than, you know, the idea that I'm trying to climb the ladder or see where I am on it. It's more like this, we're doing it because it's fun and new, you know. Every time there was a new ladder back in, you know, 2002 or 3 or whatever, when my friends were playing it, and the first time around 4 and all that, you know, we would always make new ladder characters, you know. It was a way to start fresh, and I feel like there's a certain kind of gamer, me, who loves to restart a game that they adore, and this is why it's the worst area in the game. Now watch as we hit a rockworm for 10 years. I hate the layer. Hate it. But I hate it because I love Skelemancer so much, and this is literally the worst place in the whole game. It's not that dangerous, not truly, but it's mega annoying. It's the most annoying place. A champ rockworm. It's going to take 10 years. Okay, we got 4 guys hitting him. That's not so bad. And someone telly to the other side of the wall. No idea what they're doing over there. Trying to fight one scarab? Yeah, good, good. Wonderful. And it's not so bad if you get, like, one body, but the thing is that your guys are so bad at fighting in straight lines. It's not, like, that's not, look, we're not a 1v1 type of army, right? That's not really what we do here. Please kill them. There we go. Please kill them. So obnoxious. Alright, at least we get to 2. Come on, just throw me a bone game and let me move forward at a brisk clip. Just let me hit them. I hate this area. All my homies hate this area. It is the worst. Yeah, so Act 2. Act 2 is my least favorite because I hate this area. Any other area in the whole game that I don't like because it's too dangerous. Here, I hate it because I hate it. It bores me. It stinks. It's the worst area in the game. Oh, jeez. I was like, we were stuck. No, we're fine. It's the worst area in the game. Look into my eyes and it's easy to see. This is not the worst area in the game. This is just a tribute to the worst area in the game. I can imagine a worse version of this area where you didn't get to leave. And the whole game was this. Might hate this area more than Bilewater. I mean, probably do, actually, because I've hated this one since I was, like, a teenager, and I've only hated Bilewater since, like, September. Cursed? Yeah. Spine maim. I guess we want to check up here, because if it's not, then if it is there, we'll be very upset. I miss it. They're probably laying eggs around the corner or something. They just keep on running in. And of course, our guys are the worst. You know what was good at clearing this? The Warlock. You just put some fire down on the ground. Easy peasy. It's like, finally, we can fight in a real room, and then all of our guys just wait back here, thinking about moving in. Like, please hit him. And then just one skeleton. Like... There we go. And we're just going to kick some urns here. Look, if I get something good out of an urn here, then I'll retract everything I said until the next time when I remember that this is the worst area in the game. Good experience, though. I mean, it can be. It'd be better if you could actually fight the enemies. There we go. If we can get us up at the front. But it's super hard to maneuver them. And like, sometimes I think maybe just don't bring skeletons and only bring the merc, but then, like, that barely works, right? Then the merc dies. here. This is a little sketchy, but you just want to move in so that they'll be inside. We're going to go ahead and clear this poison real quick. Nope, nope, nope. Probably never going to see another non-magic weapon in here again, I don't think. Yeah. Man, what I wouldn't do for a 4-socket sword. Well, we could gamble up something maybe, but I mean, the longer you wait to do that, the better, because, like, you know, maybe you'll get an item that's good. But anyway, we'll just move in like so. Holy Freeze putting in the work here for sure. And then we get to working on him. He's cold enchanted. The Nova off of him hurts like a lot. You don't want to get hit by it. Of course, he doesn't move, so all the more reason for you not to be struck by it, right? The Staff of Kings, you astound me. Garbage. Usually, you never expect a rare one to be good, right? You always expect it to be like a magic one. Like, where is Gamble guy here? I don't even... Oh, Elzix, that's right. Like, where is he? That is a lot of life, but it's only 8 slots. 14 more life than my build. Alright. Do we get this shield for resist? It's only 1 point in Skelly that we lose for it. I mean, it's no Ancient's Pledge, but we also don't have to spend the runes on it. I mean, why not, right? Gets us out of the negatives in fire and gets us to a very solid 71 cold resist, right? That's great. Sure, we've got lots of small charms helping out with it, but that's real good because I am reckless and I stand in Novas. I overfill burritos. You know, I don't always behave right in the game. So it's good that we Got this set up, and actually now our resists are in an okay spot, although our fire is woefully low for, you know, the coming act. It's fine for right now-ish. You know, 12 isn't enough for Act 3, but we'll try to find some more. You know, we might get it on boots, or, you know, there's a lot of different slots that we could get it off of. And if it comes to it, we'll just make an Ancient's Pledge and try to get another Ral rune elsewise. But, which, I mean, I'll do that anyway if I get a Ral at all. Again, I just don't want to not be able to make an Insight when I get a soul. Get a unique mace. It's no good for us, but could be nice for a future barbarian or a paladin. You know, the classes I will probably not play in hardcore. The old Crush Flunge. Crush Flunge is awesome, right? Because it gives you Crushing Blow, knockback, 50 fire resist. Like, if you walk around with that, you know, you can hit a guy. That's like it's like my Diablo beater, right? If you don't have another one like your Zeal thing, this is like a really good early game Zeal weapon for Paladin. You swap over there, you hit the boss with it a lot, and then you move to a better weapon once the Crushing Blow has got him down. Because Crushing Blow, very good. Very good indeed. And 50 resist is so good. My phone's ringing in the other room, but I'm going to ignore it. If they want to leave a voicemail, I'll be surprised, because I never set up my voicemail box 10 years ago when I got the phone, and I don't intend to do it ever. Don't leave me a message, I don't want to know. Our guys are all fighting in different spots. The absolute bane of our army. We want everyone fighting in one spot, but, you know, that's the problem with ranged units. You cannot affect that as easily. Three-socket crown, potentially desirable. But I've already got a mask, which is more stylish if I want a three-socket rune word. You know, there's three wonderful helmets in the game. They are the Bone Mask, the Mask, and the Great Helm, because they all have horns, like a good helmet should. What a weird Act 2 layout, but hey, you know, we're making it through. Level 41 now, decent. That's the thing, you know, we don't get that much stronger when we level up anymore, not really. It's not about us getting stronger. All you gotta do is generate a kill. And then karate explosion. This poison lasts forever. There we go. Now, the snakes are very good revives. I love a snake revive. But a guardian revive is the coolest because they're, you know, they're very on theme. We gotta figure that it's not in there, it being the way down, but, you know, we're here already. Might as well go in. Whoa. It is often the last place you check. But the thing about like the tombs in Clawvampire Temple is like generally like a tomb layout is although there's like doors and that's kind of annoying, it's fine because fundamentally the hallways are big that, you know, sure we took, you know, 200 damage there. Not great to walk through a door like that. Sometimes you feel like you have to, though. That's what big vitality and resistance stuff are. The further you get, like, in Hell, I would basically never walk through a door like that, just because the chances of getting globaled are so high. Magic Find Charm. Nice. Dex Charm. Useless. Attack Rating Charm. Useless. 5 Magic Find is okay. 7 is what you can get on a small, and that is desirable. Open the door and get popped. Doo-doo-doo. I'm likely to be down this way, but nothing can be harmed by checking, I say, in a game where any misstep could be the last one we make. Nothing could be harmed by going. Not there. Clearly not there. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Man, I can't wait till we get insight and we don't have to worry about these potions anymore. Good thing to do on Guardians is summon a golem on top of them. This will often stop them from doing, you know, like their ranged attacks, and then they'll focus on... Like, where... Oh, all of our guys were around the corner fighting someone. Stop trying to hit him and hit him. Alright, and after going to literally everywhere else on Claw Temple 1, we're going to get to Claw Temple 2. It's alright, I'm not bitter. Look, we need experience. We didn't die. We're just going to hang back here because we just need to... Get a little Securitas. Making good through the room. That's our dude there. Lightning enchant, extra fast, extra strong. A genuinely nasty pack, right? But knowing it's going to be there protects you from harm. Rare ancient armor. Ooh. Huge defense, so this will definitely be better here. It actually has a little bit more fire, and the cold we lose there. We lose the hit recovery, but he'll go from... Yeah, it's just a very big defensive boon there. I think worth swapping for. Yeah. Ancient armor, the highest of the armor types of the game. Once you get there, you gotta roll back around and start getting new stuff again. So it takes 100 strength to wear. Most characters won't use it for that reason. 100's a pretty tall order, but I mean, sometimes you'll build a character for 156 strength for a monarch. You know, like I built a sorceress with that much strength just because if you get that fast cast on the shield, you can hit your break points, and that makes it, you know, worth doing. It's just one of those trade-offs. He's been researching the old records. The Staff of Kings. All right, once more into the breach. All right, so of course we know this area is potentially hyper dangerous. There will be horror archers, there will be very big physical damage things, lots of nastiness, so we're just gonna... Alright, we got mages here. That is good compared to what there could be. And dune beasts. Not that dangerous of a room. And they're making us do the runaround. We know exactly where the exit is, but You could see from this side of the wall that there wasn't going to be a way through. Exits are always opposite corners from entrances, so, you know, you go in at the west and the east, and north and south are always the exits. But here we get a very easy route here to Cellar 2. And there's the archers. But it ends up being a nice open... That is a very nice open room, right? Very, very cozy. Horror archers here. Slow them down some, and then... Oh, there are minions. I think they're extra fast. I think their attack speed was... It seemed a little quicker than I was thinking. Oh, no, just stone skin and magic resist. That's alright. Just stone skin. Fire enchant, extra fast, extra strong, extra dead. These are all the things that apply to Fire Eye. Not good, but it'll sell for good. Anything with skills on it will sell for a chunk. It just does depend, though. It can be like an assassin weapon or something that, and then it won't sell for anything. Nope. Nope. Not doing that. Teleporters are bad for exactly that reason. Lots of times with Sanctuary, I'll just reset it until I get one that's good. Like if I can't make it on straightaways with towers, I'll just like keep resetting it because it's decent experience, and it's a massive annoyance to go to the other places. And teleporters are just dangerous. These, the lightning towers, it's annoying, but they only kind of tickle, right? It's only like 30 or 40 damage that they're doing. More worried about the ghoul lords, which, you know, it's about being able to avoid the enemy as a necromancer, and that's why the other... All three of the other ones are so bad, even though this one's annoying and it's got the towers. Still better to do this than the other. And our guys are all useless and trapped. And this, I hate Act 2, right? Act 2 is the worst. This place is better than Lair because you can see, but I hate Sanctuary too. I hate any place that restricts my movement super highly, and that's like what Act 2 is to me, is movement restriction. Act 3 is annoying because of all the annoying enemies and because there's a bunch of places that you don't need to go. But that's not as annoying as places that you have to go being the worst places in the game, like Sanctuary and Lair. Like, and then all of our guys just sit here. It's so annoying because there's one skeleton at the front blocking everyone from being productive. Anyway, Act 2 is the worst. People say it's 3, but it's definitely 2. 2 is the worst act of the game. I dislike 4 because it's boring and samey, but 2 is definitely the worst. People that say 3 is the worst just don't remember how it feels to play 2. They don't remember what the layer is like. They don't remember how stupid Arcane Sanctuary is and how none of your summons can do anything. Or they play a different class where it doesn't matter. I cannot imagine hating anything more than Act 2 as a Necromancer, though. Summonmancer. Bone doesn't care about anything. And it's a dud. That's the last TP. Alright. Because you got to go to a different guy for the scrolls. Can I just say how annoying it is to have a guy who only sells potions? Why not here too? I mean, I guess it adds texture to the place or whatever. Do we reset or not? Man, I hate Sanctuary. It's not as bad as Lair. It's almost as bad as Lair. We can do platforms because they're the worst things in the world. Yeah, why not platforms? God, I hate Sanctuary. just run through, because it's an actual waste of time to try to fight. We won't be able to get through the stairs here. You have to use like 100 portals to get through Act 2. It's the worst. Everybody knows Act 2 is the worst act in the game. No one's ever been like, oh boy, I'm so glad that I can walk around in narrow hallways where nobody can actually fight. Garbage. Garbage act. Oh god. We're dead. We're dead. Alright. Not totally dead. Almost dead. And that's the thing. Like, the act is so bad that it could kill me because I hate it. Like, Act 3 is not like that. I'm not going to do something like this and... What? What? That just snapped me. That just snapped me so far. I don't know if I should be playing this game right now. That ain't right. I was over here and it teleported me back. That is not cool. The game should not do that. Hey, we got him, though. Alright, so... we have super high frost resist, so we're not super worried about getting mauled by him on the way in. He does have fire spells, too, but... I think, yeah, we'll just, yeah, we got him. His Nova barely tickles us because we have super high resist, so we're okay. The Summoner's not the bad part of Arcane Sanctuary, it's just getting to him. The Infernal Belt, which again, I don't think the... I don't think the set bonuses are desirable enough to keep me on it, but we could theoretically just check, right? Yeah, you get... oh, right. Because attack rating is good. You get attack rating and poison resist, and then 8 poison damage over 3 seconds. I guess if you had it at level 5... look, if you have it at level 5, it is good, okay? It is good. I wasn't giving it credit for the fact that it gives you skill levels at level 5. I'm like, maybe we should gamble something up, but I don't think so. We don't need that hat anymore now that I know that that mod is quite common. I mean, I guess we can go try to pop Duriel real quick, and then we can end the session there. Like, there's not another one on this side, is there? No. Alright, Scarab, School Lords, and... Huzzah. We have gotten a Shael rune. Shael right? Yeah. This is going to be very good for us. This is going to... I don't have an rune? Ah, well, we'll hold on to that. That is so obnoxious. Because getting, like, Magic Find, Resist All, Regen, and most importantly, Cannot Be Frozen is all so good. We don't have to have it, but the sooner you get CBF, the more comfy you can be in general. We're about to get into a place in the game where anytime you get colded, you might just get deaded, so definitely want that. And then the big resist chunk that we'll get, because our shield gives us resist rights, but we'll get 7 more with Rhyme. It's also got like block rate and stuff. Not important for us since we're not getting decks, you know. Generally, I would rather have Rhyme for Cannot Be Frozen than slightly more resist, but it just depends on context, right? Like, if you're fighting Diablo, maybe make an Ancient's Pledge to get you, you know, more of that fire resist, but just depends. That room looks sketchy. We're just going to pull our summons back away from that firewall and drink of the well of life. Why are they still alive in here? We cleared that room. There must be... I hate... our guys. There we go. Because, like, the mercenary can totally, like, stab, but sometimes he'll just stand there acting like he doesn't know how to stab. Yeah, a champ beetle set plus a bunch of other stuff. I'm glad we pulled back there. Really just because the fighting in the firewall is, you know, it's bad for your health. You get such good experience in tombs. Tombs aren't that annoying to fight in, right? They're not that bad. They got doorways, but once you're past the doorways, it's good. There's not... The hallways are broad enough to where... Look, there's a... You can get twice the hallway and 4 times as much of your guys can fight. The way that summons body block each other is incredibly obnoxious. Fortunately, they don't body block you, otherwise it would be unplayable. And incredibly troll for your friends. Ooh, that's nasty. Alright, while we didn't check that upper room, I just believe that it won't be there. Oh, no, 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 no. Rejuve. Sketchy. Anyway, that's why you have to have rejuves on the bar. The amount of time it'll take to get a little bit of health might be too much time. That was sketchy, though. I shouldn't have done that. There's a lot of ways to get stun locked. We don't have nearly the fast hit recovery to be acting that way. It was that box on the ground that almost got me. I didn't see the sarcophagus, you know. If that other one was the altar room, I'm going to be so annoyed, but I think it's here. No, to the left down there. hate my mercs so much sometimes. I'm like, just hit the thing on the wall. They have like 1,000,000,000 hit points. If only there was a command to say, go hit that thing, then, you know, it would be a much better character. All right, not there. My prediction is way off. But tombs are super good experience. I mean, we've probably got like a full level just in this tomb. There we go. Now for Duriel, we're almost maxed cold resist, and the Merc is maxed cold resist, so we don't need to even worry about the potions. Get inside here so that we can get these fools down. That's the thing about like resurrecting or casters or both in this game. Like, they are immense headaches, not just for the player, but especially for the AI player, you know, because nothing you do can ever make your skeletons smart. You just gotta like try to get them to hit the right guy, you know. And it very much feels like, why do we even have that lever sometimes? But we have a limited time with these revives, so we're just going to try to get in there and get the kill. Don't really need any prep for it. Just going to go in and get it done. Oh, the staff. You know, these revives aren't going to last. I guess we'll get some more Mana pots, I don't think we will need more than that, but... Alright, let's go, let's go. Decrypt on him. He's super slowed and he's already getting chunked. That's the crushing blow coming in, right? That's what it's all about. We need to get everybody else on him, too. There we go. And Duriel, of course, is a whole different experience if he can't pop everybody. The crushing blow just melting him down. And all of the damage of all of the guys coming in, you know. He doesn't really look like an act boss here, does he? Of course, the crushing blow does percentage-based damage, so once we hit him a couple more times with it, it'll take a little bit of time to get in. But that's what it's all about, right? You get your crushing blow on, you keep him slow. Between our Holy Freeze and our Golem and everything else, Decrypify, you know, we're keeping him crawling, keeping the punches coming. Nothing to it. Duriel is a bit of a cakewalk in Nightmare for all that he is a massive headache in Normal. Of course, it just depends on who you are and whether or not you're capable of being frozen, but... And of course, as always, he never drops anything good. You shouldn't expect him to. If he does, if you ever see a unique here, even with like 1,000 magic find, a number you can't hit, you should be, you know... You should take a picture of it. No, I'm just playing. Someone's gotten a unique off of Duriel before. The history of the world is very long. It's impossible that no one's ever gotten anything good. But alright. They say it's terrible news, but I say we've done very well. Just totally crushing it. Feels good. And now it's time to go to Act 3, where we will take a break. We might play more Diablo later on today, but I think we're going to try to play at least one other game. Yeah, you know, these are such solid resists for hell. However, our fire resist is too low for this act, and we're going to have to address that some way. I mean, the best way would be finding it on gloves and boots or something. Or on the... There's a lot of... I have, like, a fire resist gem... Jewel here of 21, and then of course there's also like always a RAL, but I don't want to use that on this. I mean, we will if we have to. You know, comes down to it, you can just throw 3 RALs in a large shield, get 100 fire resist, right? It's a little bit of overkill, but you could. You know, things are working out. We might want to give him back the other weapon at this point, since we won't need crushing blow for a long time, and getting big damage out is good, but is there a 3-socket polearm that could be good? Even in that, it doesn't matter. Anyway. Marvelous times. We've got our purple shield, so you know it's good. Purple, the color of all resists in this game, of course. If you see a blue shield, probably cold resist, and so on. But that's what we've got. A level 43 destroyer. Got through Duriel. You know, once you get through Act 2, Act 3, I like. So, you know, we'll be alright. Or we'll die in a silly way, which is possible. Not even, like, unlikely, right? Just possible. But We'll see. We've got big cold resist, which is sort of okay, but not really that important for most of what we're doing. We need fire. We need fire pretty bad. Really, if we could just trade 30 cold resist for 30 more fire resist, we'd be in an alright spot. We'll see how it goes. We might just bite the bullet, make an Ancient's Pledge Shield, and just say we're going to take the survivability over any other consideration. Even CBF, even though cannot be frozen, is a survivability thing. But we'll see. Anyway, that's all I've got for you right now. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I really hope you've enjoyed. I know I have. We fought the Countess. We popped Andy and Duriel. Super easy fights both times. You expect almost every boss fight in Nightmare to be easy except Diablo because he has the AoE melt. But the danger typically in Nightmare in Hell is not in the act bosses because they're predictable and you know what they'll do. It's in movement through doors. The door is the biggest killer of a player in Diablo, I think. If you can't see on the other side and you have to walk through, you never know what you'll get. That's why I miss my Sorceress. You could just cast orbs through. It was great. Anyway, miss my Sorceress. She's right here. And right here. I have 2 Sorceresses, of course. Alpha buff for my Lightning, and then my Tizzy Sork for my original Magic Find Sork. They share items, which is why one doesn't look like they have much on. Anyway, that's all we've got for you right now. And I'll be back later on today doing something else or more of this. Depends on how I feel. But perhaps I will see you guys there. Later.